Hey guys, welcome back to Super Switch U. Sorry for the lack of videos for a while. It was not the intention, but it's the holidays. I've got a family. Things get busy. I don't know. I'm trying not to gloss over it completely. There is a video I'm actually trying to gather things for right now that is taking way longer than I would like any of it to take. Sorry, allergies are still killing me. But I am putting together another one of the videos where I talk about the games being ported to the Nintendo Switch from a previous console. The video in question is Sega Genesis. And at the moment, the count for that game, or that system and all of its games that are on the Switch 1 available, not including the Sega Genesis Online Classics, is 99. So getting all of that organized, the box arts, all that, is taking quite a bit of time. And so I finally had to say, like, you know what? If I'm going to get a video out this week, I have got to do something else, and I will come back to that. So today, long intro, we're going to do top 10 GameCube games. We had Wario World be added to the GameCube Classics service this week, so that was kind of cool. And I started playing it because I like that game, and I've beaten it before, but I wanted to see it, and it's kind of polished a little bit, so it looks really nice on Switch 2. So been working on that, but it made me think, you know what, maybe I should just go ahead and do my top 10, and then in 2026, let's see if any of my top 10 make it to the online service, because we're never going to see them come to just a physical cartridge anymore. I think that time is gone because of the service. So with that all being said, let's drop down here to the corner. Oh, too far. There we go. Okay. And we'll go through this starting at number 10 and working our way up to number 1. So, number 10, it would have to be Animal Crossing. It was one of the first games that I got for the GameCube. And I'm trying to remember specifically, but I feel like my brother actually got me my GameCube. It was definitely after. We were just collecting all the retro games and stuff at that point. GameCubes were cheap. So I ended up getting it with a couple of games. I want to say maybe it was Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles and like Chronicles of Narnia or something. I don't remember. But I want to say maybe that's how I got my GameCube, was through him. But this was not one of those games. But it was something early on, and when I got mine, it did have the. Hold on, I want to pull this up. There we go. Now I can use the mouse cursor. But it had the memory card with it. That's the special little Animal Crossing one. It wasn't new by any means. This was used, but it still had that sitting inside the case, so that was cool. But aside from having its own memory card that had just enough memory to cover all the things Animal Crossing did, it had one nice little feature that I wish some of the current Animal Crossing games had, and that, which I think Switch 2 edition or the update or whatever is supposed to get this feature back. But you used to be able to collect the NES games inside the original Animal Crossing. Not all of them, but there was a decent sized list, and so you could set those up, and it would be a system with a little TV, and you could play it inside of Animal Crossing. You just load up the entire like Wario Woods, and I think Excite Bike might have been in there. I'm trying to remember, because there was, I think, at least 10 NES games that you could play in Animal Crossing, and so that was really awesome. And I'd set up these little arcades in the basement of my house and put all the Nintendo collectible memorabilia and stuff, and it was awesome. So probably still one of my favorite Animal Crossings to this day because of that one feature, even though most of the other improvements in the series was not present in that game. You couldn't move your house, you couldn't pick where it was at. It was stuck in this one little screen, and every time you went somewhere, you had to wait for it to like pull up to another little section. But still, the video game thing, like that's what made that game. So number 10. So number 9 is probably the only non-Nintendo title in this list, but I found that I really enjoy Resident Evil 4. I have played it on the GameCube. I beat it for the first time on the Wii, and it was really nice with the motion controls and stuff. And got it again on Switch 1 and beat it again. And my feelings for it still change because it's got a really good story. It Leon is actually a really cool character in my opinion. A little on the frou-frou with the hair or whatever, but like, still cool. And some of the I don't remember what they call it in Resident Evil. Basically, the zombie things. So some of the enemies that you fight in it are really cool, and the bosses were good. So yeah, I would say number 9 is probably a pretty fair spot for Resident Evil 4. Moving on to number 8, Wind Waker. I know people are going to get upset when they see Wind Waker as number 8. Just hear me out. So, the GameCube specific, as I had to separate this for me from the Wii U version. The Wii U version, masterpiece. Had the second screen, could have the map at all times where you're trying to navigate the sea instead of opening up a pause menu every single time. All of the backgrounds and assets and stuff were beautiful in the Wii U version. The GameCube, not so much. So originally getting this like years and years and years before the Wii U came out, I did try to play it. And it was a bit rough, and I never finished it. I didn't even get that far into the game. And it's because of traveling from island to island in the GameCube, at least in my opinion, it's miserable. It is so miserable to try to do. But when you have it on the Wii U and it's easier to see stuff and you can switch between items and quickly pull out like your telescope and stuff, but then you can also just have the map there and know what you're doing, makes the world of difference. So really, I wish they would bring that to the Switch or the Switch 2, but instead we got this on the service. So like it's still a good game once you get past the sea traveling stuff in the GameCube version, but it's rough. So it hurt it a lot, but everything else makes up for it. So I'd still say number 8. Number 7, Donkey Konga. I really like both Konga and Konga 2. It was really hard not to put both of them in this list. But I like rhythm games. I do. And I definitely like instrumental games. So I loved the Guitar Heroes and DJ Hero and even a really cheaply made Rock of the Dead was fun for me. I liked that. A lot of your dance intros and stuff too. But Donkey Konga, you used the bongos. And so you would hit the left one or the right one to hit the notes, and then you'd clap for certain things. There were moments where you'd have to hit both at the same time just as quick as you could, and you build up a score. And it had a pretty good track list, and that's really what it came down to when I was trying to decide between Donkey Konga 2 and Donkey Konga. 2 had some better regular like hits, like rock songs and stuff, like better things that we had at the time, whereas Donkey Konga, its track list actually fit better to a Nintendo music rhythm game because you had stuff like the Pokemon theme song, Kirby Right Back at Ya, Legend of Zelda, Mario, all kinds of Nintendo tracks were stuffed into the original Donkey Konga, and so that is why it actually made it to the top. It was just so much fun to play through those songs, and then going back now, it's a nostalgia trip because it was all part of my childhood. So just getting to play that in a rhythm game on some bongos. Without the bongos, this would be just a terrible experience. But if you can find both now, I would say check that out because it's really cool. Number 6. I think we're on number 6, right? Yep. Okay. Metroid Prime. This one I did beat on the GameCube, just so nobody hates on me for not beating too many things on the GameCube. I ended up picking this up at I want to say it was a game exchange back when we had one in Midwest City. So it was not something that we could just easily go to. But when we'd go up and go grocery shopping, my parents would take us to Game Exchange every so often. And one of the first times we went in there, they had this. It was like $5 or less, and I had that amount with me. We had just gotten the GameCube. I was looking for some stuff to play, and I picked it up. And it was awesome. I beat it on the Cube, and then replayed it with the Switch on the remastered version, and it. Oh man, talk about talk about some improvements, man. The remaster for Switch is awesome too because it takes this and it just cleans it up. It makes it so much better. It makes it feel more modern, even though it is still a GameCube game. But I like Metroid Prime. um, 2, I have a little bit harder time remembering, so it's not in the top. But 1, I still remember fondly. I think it was really good. Liked 1. I know I liked 3, and I still can't play 4. Not until after Christmas, when nobody can afford to buy me a $70 game, and then I have to figure out really quickly at the end of December how to pick that up for me. So I'll let you know what happens with that. Number 5, Super Mario Sunshine, which was one of the first ones that when me and my brother got a GameCube that we shared, we did end up with this very early on, and I played through and beat it, and then again with the 3D All Stars, and I did like it. It's a very solid 3D Mario game. It is not one of the best in my opinion, which is probably part of why it's number 5. And the things that I really didn't care so much for were and this is something that's present in Wario World too. Um, you would have these little weird challenges where it like goes into this big open void, and there's like these 3D platforms, and you had to do those types of stages, and they felt so weird and out of place, and like what's the words that I'm looking for? It's too early to be doing these videos. But just for like the flow of the game and like the overall theme and feel to it, these stages did make sense. Which, I mean, I guess you could kind of compare that to like Donkey Kong Bonanza, how it has the little challenges you go through the door. But at least with those, a lot of the times they tried to blend it in. Whereas like Mario Sunshine, it was just like a whole different dimension that you just went to, and like no explanation. You just did these things. Um, Between that and some of the places kind of blended together, which I get. Like it's all supposed to be tropical. He's on an island, whatever. Um, but I don't know. It's some of that was blended a little too much, and I don't know. But it's still overall a good game. Like I don't want to sit here and just talk about all the negatives because Flood was really cool. So being able to use the water powers to like wash off the paint and to use it to get up to higher platforms to glide across, all of that was really cool. So number 5 feels pretty right for that. Number 4, Star Fox Adventures. If you haven't figured it out by now, I really like Star Fox. And this one was no exception. But and I get it didn't start out in design or whatever to be a Star Fox game, but it works as a Star Fox game, especially a side game to the series where you're not in the ships, and so you're exploring around a dinosaur-filled planet. Um, so it's nice. It's nice to sometimes break away from the standard Star Fox formula and have one of these adventures because he's not spending all of his entire existence in a R-wing in a spaceship. Um, he would go and explore these planets and have these adventures. So with things like Star Fox 64 or Star Fox uh, Zero and stuff like that, Super Nintendo one, you don't get to see that side of it, which is fine. Like it's awesome as a rail shooter from a spaceship, but it's just, like I said, it's nice to go and do this. But then just the game itself had a really good story, had really good stages, awesome, very, I wouldn't say very challenging puzzles, but it was the right amount of challenging to um, just have a good time with it. So like you're not sitting there so furious at playing this thing that you want to throw a controller, um, but it's still enough that it's not like you're just bored breezing through this thing. So it's well balanced. That's the word that I'm looking for. It's a well balanced game with awesome characters, story, and everything else. 4 is probably the most appropriate place for that. Now moving on to number 3, Luigi's Mansion. One of the biggest reasons I ever wanted a GameCube as a kid was seeing the kiosk set up in Kmart. We had a Kmart still in Shawnee at that time, and they'd have this kiosk set up, and Luigi's Mansion was always playing on the TV, and I always wanted to be able to play that because Luigi, for a long time, was my go-to character in Mario games. Because my brother was always Mario. It's just like, oh, little brother Luigi. That was me. So I could relate to him so well. Before eventually my go-to character became Waluigi because Matt's ended up being Wario or something. I don't know. My young brain ended up switching from Luigi to Waluigi, and it never went back. Uh, but aside from that, just the idea that it's a Mario World type of game with ghosts in it just also sounded awesome. And so then playing it and then all of its sequels, it is definitely one of the best that Nintendo has put out ever. Um, but definitely a really good start to the Luigi's Mansion franchise as a whole, which I'm glad that it became a franchise. For a long time, it was just Luigi's Mansion from the GameCube, and then it stayed there until it's either 2012 or 2013. We finally got a sequel on the 3DS, and then it opened the door for Luigi's Mansion 3 on the Switch, and so now we've got a series instead of just the one awesome game from GameCube. So yes, number 3. As much as I would love to say this is number 1, I know that in my heart that it's not the top GameCube game, but it is definitely in the top 3. Number 2 would then be Super Smash Bros. Melee, which I know a lot of people are like, well, that needs to be number 1. It's like the best Smash Bros. Game. I would disagree on best Smash Bros. Game, but it is definitely up there for sure. Probably third for me, I would say, just because like it does have a good solid roster for characters, and all of the game modes are really fun. But when it comes to just the single player experience, right, like after you get things like Brawl and Ultimate that had good story modes, like actual story campaign modes, the one for Smash Bros. Just kind of feels a little less. It's closer to like the N64 and not so much like Brawl, and I liked Brawl better. So really, I think that's probably the only reason it's number 2 is that single player. It's just it's arcade style with some stages of like going through these little levels and stuff, but there was never really like a point. It was just these 2D platforming smashing type of levels with no real clear direction. And so, yeah, number 2. Number 1, and as much as I hate to admit it, the Switch version actually reconfirmed that for me. That's Paper Mario: Thousand Year Door. I do really like the Paper Mario games, but yeah, this one, really thinking back to the series as a whole. N64 one was fine. Very basic. I can't remember the side characters, who joins your party and who you go through the adventure with. The Wii Paper Mario, so Super Paper Mario, it was great. I liked it. I liked the switching dimensions and stuff, but it did feel like it was kind of getting away from some of the formula, and then it's kind of stepped down from there for a few years, or a few games. Definitely more than a few years. So the Thousand Year Door was kind of like the peak of that first RPG formula that Paper Mario had, because I do remember the characters that you get, even if I can't always remember the names because Dad Brain is making everything go, but visually I still remember the Koopa and his weird girlfriend, and that he was trying to fight to be like his dad or something. And then the weird archaeological explorer Goomba. Definitely remember the Yoshi in the fight arena. Just the fight arena itself. Sometimes it goes a little too long, but it's memorable for it. And then all the little separate stages for Peach and stuff. It's not a game that goes on longer than it needs to go. It's like the perfect amount of time, so it's not too short, it's not too long. It's exactly what you need for this exact game. Gameplay absolutely works. Even in the HD remaster, it still works. Stories perfect. So definitely the best. Even if I fell asleep as a kid playing it, I was exhausted that day. I don't blame myself for it. But it's a memory that is still stuck in my brain. Laying in the floor playing Paper Mario on our. It was one of those weird cabinet style TVs. This was before we got the flat screen. And I was playing it and fell asleep. Woke up on the couch somehow. I'm not sure who put me up there, but and got woken up and went and seen some movie with my brother. I don't remember what we went and watched. Would have been early 2000s, so I don't know. I don't remember, but I do remember the falling asleep in the middle of this and the waking up and then going to see a movie. That's the core memory. It's a stupid one, but it's there. So it's also got a lot of nostalgia too. If any of that rambling made sense. Point is, Paper Mario, I like it. I would definitely say, compared to every other game on the GameCube, it is probably the top for me. So there we go. That's my thoughts on that. So hopefully, I mean, I know we've got Wind Waker on there on the service already, and we've got Luigi's Mansion on that service already. But maybe we'll see some of those other ones, like Animal Crossing, would be kind of neat. It'd be difficult, I think. It's because of how much you have to save before Rossetti shows up and like slaps you around. It's like, no, you got to save. Or Sunshine, even though technically it's already on Switch 1 with the 3D All Stars, but I feel like they did that with something. It was already available and they slapped it on there anyway. So we'll probably see the Sunshine at some point. And Paper Mario, I mean, it's its own separate thing, but they'll probably put it there eventually when they're confident they're not going to sell more of the Switch 1. They'll be like, all right, here you go, on the service. So yeah. Some other things I wanted to talk about unrelated to the GameCube. So if you made it this far, going to be a slight change to the channel. Not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. But I did just get something that I think this counts as a sponsorship. They call it an ambassador club, but they're not going to supply me with money, which is unfortunate, but I get it. They're going to supply me with games, and then if we cover enough games and stuff on the channel, eventually I'll get some merchandise and some things that I'll be able to do as like giveaways for you guys. So that'll be cool. I have to do a lot of things to bump up to a higher tier in this ambassadors club to be able to do that. But on the other side of that, we are going to get games. We're going to get games on launch day. So anything going forward that they put out is going to be there. So we'll be able to cover that. We'll be able to cover their backlog of games for the Switch 1 So that's going to be really cool. And you may be asking at this point, like, who would give somebody like me that opportunity? And that, hold on. I was not fully prepared. Give me a second. I'm trying to keep the throat clear. Outright games. Yeah. So I'm going to have a lot more content for the Super Switch Tots series or sub-series that I was wanting to do anyway. So I'll be able to talk about games for kids under 5. But for those of you that are here that are not parents or relatives of kids under 5, and that's not the kind of thing that you want to do, we're going to cover all of their games. We'll go over the Chicken Run game. We will go over the Ninja Turtle games that they have, the Transformers games, some of the movie licensed games like Ice Age and Hotel Transylvania, stuff like that. So I'm excited. I'm excited for this opportunity to be able to play these games and not actually have to spend my own money to cover new things. So there's also a chance that I might just use this as an opportunity to bring back Let's Play Tabletop a little bit early, and then we'll just start going over those on Saturdays. I do need to cover at least one of their games a week, so I will either do that or I will create some other weekly thing as an excuse to cover more of their games. So if you start seeing a lot more of these outright games specifically, that's what that is. Know that I'm still going to give my honest opinion on this stuff. I think that they would probably prefer that anyway. But yeah, we're gonna play them. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna be playing games. We're gonna be playing games that are probably not as often covered on these kinds of channels. And again, we will do launch day gameplays. None of it's gonna be physical. Like, this was not something they sent me. This was something that I picked up for my son. And when Christmas rolls around and he gets to open the Baby Shark game, we will definitely be doing an unboxing for that. And we will, as long as my wife lets me do the unboxing, I think. This is a Christmas present for the 2-year-old. I don't know that I'll get the chance specifically, but we're gonna aim for it, and we'll do some gameplay for that. And past that, it will probably all be digital titles, which I know I do a lot of the physical games, and most of you are probably here for talking about trash on key cards. But still, I mean, free game is free game. So if I'm not playing it or paying for it, then that'd be cool. And then if there are games that I like that they give me codes for to talk about with you guys, I will just go out of my way and go pick them up, and then we'll have a physical. We'll do an unboxing for the it'll probably end up just being the picks that I have, and then anything that I find like this one, if they're appropriate for my son to play and they're things that he enjoys, then I will probably still go out there and hunt them down, and we'll do an unboxing for those and stuff too. So we're not going to change a lot of the formula, just that we're going to go over outright games, their games, and we'll do some more gameplay specific videos, stuff like that. So I'm excited. So if there's anything, like, if you guys have a preferred outright games title that you like, be it you know what, let me pull up a list of their stuff, because that would be very helpful to see in front of me. Let's see. There we go. Let me bring this down so I can still see me, but then also, okay, there we go. Okay, they have a fairly decent list. First one being back in 2017. They did a Ben 10 game. Stuff like Hotel Transylvania 3, which played like Pikmin. We at one time had that game. Some of the Adventure Times, some Paw Patrol, Steven Universe, Crayola Scoot, DreamWorks stuff, Ugly Dolls, Ice Age, Race with Ryan, the Jumanji game. I did an unboxing before I had changed the whole channel to Super Switch U. This was back in my voice actings only for this channel days, and we did a limited run unboxing. It was mystery boxes, so there was like some regular ones, and there was a big limited edition unboxing, and Jumanji was actually in that. So it'd be fun to finally play that game. I let Tom have that one because I did not have interest back then, but it's going to be exciting to try it now. What else do they got? They got Gigantosaurus, they got Troll Hunters, LOL, Zoids, Transformers, Bratz, more of the DreamWorks stuff, Last Kids on Earth and the Staff of Doom, Addams Family, Peppa Pig, BJ Mask, Fast and Furious, so definitely not a kids game there. My Little Pony. Definitely not into that kind of stuff, but if you guys want to see it, we could definitely get the codes and we'll check it out. DC Super Pets, Star Trek Prodigy, JoJo Siwa, because, why not? Coco Melon, Justice League. You could do Justice League, that'd be cool. Baby Shark. We're already planned to do Baby Shark, so this kind of works. Now, the first two things, and I won't get an answer back from them until probably Monday, because I saw this late yesterday. But I have requested a couple of codes, and then I got to make sure that I'm requesting in the right channel and stuff. But hopefully by Christmas, we'll get the first two codes from them. And that would be the Grinch Christmas Adventures and Elf on the Shelf. I wanted to do some Christmas games at Christmas time, and it was as stupid as that might sound. I would love to cover some Christmas games this year before it's too late. So hopefully I can get those in the next 2 weeks until Christmas. So we'll cover that and throw Yuka Replayly in there somewhere, because that's supposed to come out this week, or this next week on the 18th. I've got my sister keeping an eye on the tracking information, so that way as soon as Replayly comes in, then we'll cover that too. I did forget that is on the way, and I'm ready for it. I'm excited. See what else is Outright Games have. Bluey the video game. We will definitely cover that one because my son loves Bluey. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Barbie, Matchbox, Monster High, Nick Jr., SpongeBob, the Patrick game. That one I'm excited for because every so often there's a good SpongeBob game. Like the SpongeBob movie game was really good, and Battle for Bikini Bottom. I did enjoy that on the Switch. Didn't play it on the GameCube, unfortunately, but it would have been nice. Definitely back when that came out, I would have loved it. NBA Bounce, so we will cover a sports game, but that seemed like it was a bit more fun than a typical NBA game. I did say Chicken Run was in there, Dora, Rainforest Rescue, Gabby's Dollhouse. I think that has a movie coming out, or it already came out, something, and Elf on the Shelf. So again, not super detailed, but basically all the properties and stuff that they've made games for, that's what they got. So if there are any of those games that you guys want to see, put it in the comment section to any video. I'm serious. Any video that I've got, just put it there and be like, I want to see this. And we will absolutely take some time and cover that video. So yeah, I don't know, but I'm excited. Like this is exciting to get to work with them and be able to cover these games, both the games that my son might be able to play, and some of those things like Turtles and Transformers and stuff I might enjoy myself. So yeah, let's do this. Let's start this whole thing right here at the end of 2025 into 2026. We will have a ton of new stuff, even if it's not Switch 2. We'll be covering Switch 1. So definitely stay tuned for all of that. And then if we do all the right things, jump through the right hoops, and get up from the bronze level up to gold level, or maybe it was platinum. I'd have to go back and look. But somewhere in there, they no, it's gold. I remember it's platinum. It's like a whole bunch of like server type stuff and some other things that we probably would never need anyway. But our goal is to get up to gold, so that way we can get the merchandise for like the games and for outright games, and just do some giveaways. That'd be so awesome. I have not had the chance to do a giveaway. And if nothing else, we might get some more art for the wall behind me. That would be cool too. New shirts. They did say something about merch, and so I would assume t-shirts are in that. And so I could stop wearing the same 5 shirts for these videos, because that's the only things that still fit. Not that I'm getting fat, it's the fact that cheap Walmart shirts shrink. And after like a month or so, they don't work for me anymore. But this is not one of those. This is my Deadpool shirt. I like my Deadpool shirt. Surrounded by greatness is what this is, but the greatness is all the way at the bottom. But it came from JCPenney, so it has not shrunk. It has stayed a nice, perfect 3X, and so it's long and it's a little bit looser fitting on me. So it's the way that I like to wear t-shirts. Like technically, if I had a 2XLT, which was like the taller ones, for my very weirdly long torso, that's all I technically need. But the 3X, it's just that extra, like, it looks bigger, and so it's my style. I like it. But enough about that. Yeah, outside of outright games and just the fact that hopefully in the next week or so, I will have that Sega Genesis video put up, and all 99 plus titles that can be achieved physically on Switch and Switch 2, we will get that up as soon as I get that fixed and organized to make sure I've got all of my assets, because there's one title, I had like 51 or 52 of these things in it, the Sega Genesis Classics, which I have on the shelf, but it's hard to open that up and pop it up and look at it, so I've got to pull up a list instead and find all my art. But yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe. If you're already subscribed, hit the bell notification button so that way you can be alerted to all upcoming videos, especially because now, thanks to Outright Games, we're going to have a lot more content and things to cover and things to do gameplay videos of and stuff like that. So definitely hit that bell notification button so you can know all of these things as they're happening, and comment down below any thoughts you have, any games you want to see, especially if it's their games. We can get a hold of that so much easier than anything else right now. But if it's outside of that, we can cover it too. And yeah, I think that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time.